Hey, good morning, guys. So I'm back here, day two, episode two, and I already been staining today. I stained these green states, and these green states, these green pieces here, goes with that other state. I don't know if you know what state it is yet, but from the intro video that I did yesterday, maybe you would know what state it is because I showed you. And I won't tell you what it is just yet because I'm going to give people a chance to guess. But this is my second take at this. I tried to video before, but apparently my camera was on photo. So I took a nice picture of myself before I started the video. So yeah, I guess I'll redo it. So yesterday, during the intro video, I showed you I was cutting out these states. I had all these to do. I cut out all these. So I got home last night, and I hooked up my camera to the computer, uploaded the video to the computer, and while it was doing that, I separated the states out into the colors I wanted them to be and everything. And I went ahead and stained some because I was excited to try these new colors. This green I never put on a state before, and this blue I never put on a state before. And then while I was at it, I did a couple extra, just because I knew I needed a lot of room today to do the browns, because my brown stack was pretty big. There's like 42 that I got to do brown. But anyway, I liked the greens so much that I took two from the brown pile and went ahead and stained them green this morning. So that's where we're at. Now I'm going to stain these circles, because you'd be surprised how many people ask me, how do you stain it? And then I tell them, like, I use a foam brush. And they're like, oh, you don't use a paintbrush? I'm like, no, I use paintbrushes for paint and foam brushes for stain. And then they ask me, you put it on with a foam brush? I'm like, yeah. But then you got to wipe it off. They're like, what do you wipe it off with? So here's a video for everybody to see just how American Made stains his circles. And I haven't got a chance to watch yesterday's new intro video, so I hope it's good enough to go with this video. I know it started raining yesterday during it, and hopefully you can still hear me. But if not, I'm going to post it anyway because it's part of it. And I'm sure whatever I was saying during that time wasn't worth hearing anyway. But let me see. All right, it is recording. Has the red going there. I thought I hit record, and I was sitting there going, and I don't look at the screen that it has. I try to look at the lens and focus on you guys. But all of a sudden, my camera started doing the beep, 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 and then it shut off. I was like, okay. I thought maybe the battery was low or something. Then I turned it back on. Nope, it was on photo. And I might blow that photo up. It was a pretty good photo. But the first take, you guys aren't going to get to see that, unfortunately. I think it was better than this one I just did. So when I put the stain on, I kind of go with the grain. That doesn't necessarily matter too much. You're just trying to get it all on kind of quickly, and because you don't want it to sit too long in a spot, because you'll see where it sat longer than the other, which is kind of a funky little deal. So I get the edges real good, and I do all this and try to get all the main stain, the most of it, out before I hit the edges so that it doesn't run down too much, because I don't like it when the stain drips down and you can see it on the backside. I don't like that. So you get the edges real good. Now, there's also a reason why I try to do 3 things at once. And that reason is it gives the stain time to penetrate. You can do one thing at a time, but guess what you're going to have to do? Wait. You're going to have to give it time. I know patience isn't a lot of people's strong suit. I'm one of them. As you'll learn in this video quest with American Made, I don't like to give my paint a lot of time to dry. It's kind of I just don't like to give my paint a lot of time to dry. It's hard to do. I get excited to peel off the stencil vinyl and reveal what's going on underneath. That's okay. I like getting excited about it. We're on to the second circle here. While I'm doing that, you always want to wear gloves when staining. And when I'm staining a lot of things like I am this morning, I opt for the thicker gloves. Because I find that thinner gloves, the cheaper ones, by cheaper, I mean they're 10 cents a pair. These are 20 cents a pair. These ones don't rip as easily. So when I got a lot of these to do, I'm gonna turn this fan on. I like to opt for the thicker gloves. If I'm only doing a couple things, I'll just grab the light blue ones. And when I say thicker, it's these 2 from Harbor Freight. So these are the thin ones, these are the better ones. I use these when I'm only doing a couple things. I use these when I'm doing 50 things. Really, it's like 5 or more. I just happen to be doing, I think, 42. I got 42 brown ones to do. This back side. Just trying to get it all on. And I don't mind telling the people at the shows when they ask me how I put my stain on. I don't mind telling them, because honestly, putting it on and taking it off, that's only part of it. That's only part of it. You don't have the whole process. You know, I'm not afraid to telling them how I stain my stuff, that they're gonna all of a sudden have just as good looking stuff as mine. I'm not afraid of that. There's a lot to the process, because they don't ask me what grit do I sand to before I stain. That matters just as much as the stain and all the others. If you only got half the recipe to bake the cake, you're not going to get a very good cake. It might still resemble a cake, but it's not going to be as good. All right. Also, you need to make sure when you're staining that you wear something that you can get stain on, because when you get stain on it, it stains. It's in the name, guys. It's in the name. All right, now we're to the wipe off portion. And before I start staining, I always separate rags out so I can just grab them, because I'll have stuff on my hands. So I got 4 of them ready to go. So that should be enough. So we'll grab one. Grab one. And then I always have, like, this one's ready over here. These I use as my hold down rags. So I'll show you what I'm talking about here. Put you back here. There you go. And on these rags, I always like to make sure not using the fuzzy side out, because although they look very similar each side, one has just a little more fuzz. You don't want to use the fuzzy side if you can help it. So let's see, the hold down rag, I start here, get a little spot going, and I use this to hold the circle steady. So now I can go, because if I don't, it'll do that the whole time. Oh, that white grain's looking good through there. There we go. So like I was saying on my first take, this being take 2 of this same video, I haven't got a chance to watch yesterday's new intro video just yet. So I was kind of hesitant if I was actually gonna film any of this today. Oh, look at that. Nice popping on that grain there. It's a good one. Instead of putting my back to you all, I'm gonna bring this circle over here. There we go. But you want to wipe off in the same order that you went. So this is the second, this is the third. So again, I get a little spot for my hold down, and I hold it down. Oh, this is a pretty one too. Not all wood is created equal. Some does stain better, some burns better. As people will request, I want the circle to look just like this one. What they don't know that they're asking me to do, well, I don't know, they're not necessarily asking me to do it. But what I do then is I have to stain 3 or 4 circles to try to match the one that they want it to look like, which is not a big deal because I just go ahead and do them anyway. But just put something on them. They just think that just because it's the same color, it's going to look the same. That's not exactly the truth. I'm just shocked at how many people don't actually know that you wipe off stain after you put it on. And that's, I guess I should preface that. There is some stain that I put on, and I'll show you, that I do not wipe off. It's actually the blue stain that I used on those Michigans down there. It's the same blue that I used for my home plates that I do. I guess one right here. Let me see. I do these home plates, and the blue that goes in the union there, I don't actually wipe it off. Well, sometimes I do. Everything's almost nothing in woodworking can I say is an absolute. So I gotta stop that. As much as I want it to be all the exact same, absolute it's not. But anyway, you want to kind of keep flipping the rag. You want it to be on the dry spot. Soak up as much as you can. Makes the drying process much faster. You get as much off with the rag as possible. Because tomorrow we go to the next part. After the stain, which hopefully I'll be able to video that too. But that's just like that. Now I'm going to do 3 more until they're until they're all stained. And then I'm going to start the states, and I'll probably do probably 4 at a time on that. Seems to be a good timing. When I did those and those, I did 4 at a time. But what I do is, to save on gloves, I put 1 pair of gloves on. I already see the green stains on here. I stained the green, but you just wipe. I don't need to because I'm doing the same color. But I use 1 pair of gloves, 1 foam brush for all the brown. So 42 pieces, 20 cents in gloves, $2 in a foam brush, and partridge in a pear tree. That's all it takes. Yep, I think that's good. Well, anyway, thanks for joining me today. Hopefully I can watch the video that I did yesterday, and hopefully it's good enough to post. You can hear me and stuff, but I think even if it's not, I'm just excited to get content out there, and I think I'm gonna post it anyway. But yeah, I guess I'll catch you guys later.